Protesters are demonstrating for access to a path around their local lake. 1, 2, 3, keep the lakeside free, they say. The residents of Groß-Glienicke are baffled that rich people are blocking access to the lake with the aid of police. For 20 years, there's been a public path around it, but not anymore.
I'd say most of them are people who've moved here recently and think they can do whatever they want with the lake because they have money.
The demonstrators don't want to accept that and are insisting on their rights. The path is marked on an official document, the land use plan.
We're absolutely in the right. The land use plan has been accepted. It's the law. And what's happening here is a really weird political circus, and that infuriates me.
But the political circus has been caused by an oversight, as Peter Kaminski, who heads the district council, tries to explain. Shortly after the Berlin Wall fell, the community neglected to declare the path legally open to the public. When years later some house owners found out, they blocked the path which runs through their property.
There's no way we can enforce a right to walk through private property, even by making a commotion.
Legally, the councillor's hands are tied, but he sympathizes with the protesters. The lake has been a central feature of the community's life for the last 2 decades.
The people of Groß-Glienicke quite rightly took the lake over. They ran, strolled and cycled around it. The first freely elected local council took a strong stance to make sure the Bundeswehr allowed the path to be used as a hiking trail.
The lake used to be a border area. In 1961, the shore on the East German side was walled up and the path laid, but only for the East German army. The properties there were simply expropriated to secure the country's borders. That's what happened to the Bartels family, who had owned a house on the lake for generations. They received official notification that the lakefront area was no longer theirs.
There was no question of refusing to give up the area. This was an official notification, and that made it an order. It was needed to secure the border.
When the border was reopened, the Bartels were allowed to buy back their property at 25% of its market value. They paid 11,000 euros. But they haven't been able to use it undisturbed since then, because anyone can swim, barbecue, or camp here. Once, even their own grandchildren were chased away.
There were lots of people there, and they told the children to go away. They even said pretty clearly, "Get lost." Then the children said, "But this belongs to us." And the answer was, "You can tell other people that, not us." Ugly things like that have often happened here.
Some demonstrators sympathize with old property owners like the Bartels. Their anger is directed mainly at the newcomers, who, they say, knew that the lakefront part of their property was a protected natural area with a footpath for everyone.
More than anything, I'm fighting against the clearly speculative and financial interests of the owners trying to increase the worth of their property. They knew they were buying land in a nature reserve and should stick to the rules.
Peter Kaminski can no longer mediate between demonstrators and residents. The situation seems to have reached a stalemate.
If it remains deadlocked, we still have the option of taking legal action. The worst thing would be expropriation, although that's standard procedure in Germany.
Both sides are sticking to their interpretations of the law. Residents like the Bartels now only let their lawyers speak for them.
My
clients are stunned. History goes back further than this. The Nazis dispossessed people in the course of Aryanization, and East Germany did the same in the name of socialism. So you can't muster a lot of understanding when a state capital like Potsdam once again threatens people with expropriation just 20 years after reunification.
Peter Kaminski knows the path from his time as an East German soldier. He thinks this path, that was once used for border patrols, is history's gift to the community.
Look at this natural beauty. Everyone should have access to it. Here, right in the middle of a city, you can relax and enjoy nature. And the aim should be to preserve it for hundreds of years.
But just 2 decades after the fall of the Berlin Wall, new barriers and fences are being built along the old border strip, something Peter Kaminski never thought he would see here again.